My mother looked me straight in the eyes in front of 83 guests and said, "You are not on the list, Elena." I was wearing the bridesmaid dress she had forced me to order 4 months earlier. A plum-colored gown that cost $2,400, and I still had not finished paying for it. I stood in the vestibule of the Grand Hall at Palacio Dorado with the gardenia bouquet in my left hand. The satin shoes pinched my little toe. My mother blocked the entrance as if I were a stranger without a reservation. My sister Valeria, the bride, stood 15 meters behind her adjusting her veil. She did not turn around. She said nothing. And my stepfather Don Javier, the man who had sat at the head of our table for 17 years, simply glanced at his watch. I had the invoice in my purse. The invoice for the dress, the shoes, and the floral arrangements I had been asked to coordinate. A total of $2,370. And in that moment, with the calmest voice I had ever used in my life, I said, "Very well, Mother, then I need you to pay me this." I extended the envelope toward her. "Before I tell you what happened with that envelope, I need you to know something. My name is Elena Vargas. I am 31 years old. And I want you to understand what happens when a mother decides that control matters more than her own daughters. Before I tell you what my mother did with that invoice, give this video a like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments. If your own mother excluded you from your sister's wedding after forcing you to pay to participate in it, would you forgive her? Because what happened next changed everything. This is how I got here. I grew up in a house where everything had invisible rules. My mother, Margaret Vargas, was a social events coordinator at the Elite Club. She organized galas, quinceañeras, and anniversaries. Her reputation was her religion. In our home, Sunday lunch was served at 1:15 exactly. The table was set with white linen tablecloths, napkins folded into triangles, and glasses always on the right. If you arrived late, you did not eat. If you had a different opinion, you did not exist. Valeria, 2 years younger than me, learned the game early. She studied what mother suggested, dressed as mother approved, and dated the sons of families mother considered our level. I, on the other hand, studied social work at Academia Real. I moved into a small apartment and started dating Sebastian, a chef who ran a taco stand at the market. My mother never said it directly. She never said he is not enough. What she said was, "Elena, there are decisions that complicate the image of an entire family." And when I asked what image exactly, she answered, "The one we have spent 30 years building." Sebastian was the man who picked up trash in the market parking lot even when no one asked him to. He braided his 6-year-old niece's hair every Tuesday before taking her to school. He left 40% tips because he knew what it was like to live on tips. The first time I saw him on a rainy Thursday in March at 7 in the evening, he was teaching a street child how to fold napkins at his stand. He did not know I was watching. It was not an act. 4 months into our relationship, he asked me to visit his grandmother in the countryside. We drove for 1 hour and 40 minutes. The house smelled of cinnamon and damp earth. His grandmother, Dona Carmen, was 87 years old and kept a notebook where she wrote the name of every person who had visited her since 1998. When we left, she wrote my name. Elena. Came with my grandson. Has good eyes. I did not know it until much later. When Valeria announced her engagement to a prominent surgeon's son, mother organized an announcement dinner for 60 guests at the club. Budget $47,000. She assigned me the role of maid of honor. She told me to order my dress at the boutique, to choose shoes from the catalog she selected, and to coordinate the floral arrangements. "She is your sister," she said. "This is what we do." I spent $2,370. All in my name. The first confrontation happened on the 12th of January during Sunday lunch. Mother asked if Sebastian would attend the wedding. I said yes. There was 9 seconds of silence. Then Don Javier said it would be prudent to consider how that affects the visual dynamic of the event. I looked at him and said, "He is my partner, Javier." And Mother said, "No one has said he cannot come. We are simply being wise with image decisions." On the 23rd of January, Mother called me at 9:42 at night. She said she had spoken with Valeria and that for table logistics it was better if Sebastian did not attend. I told her if Sebastian was not going, I would not go either. She hung up without answering. On the 3rd of February, I received an email from Valeria. Not a call, an email. The subject was about the wedding. It said Mother was right. She did not want the day to be complicated. Could I come alone or could we talk later? "I love you." I replied with one line. "I will come with Sebastian or I will not come. You decide." She did not answer for 4 days. On the 9th of February, mother sent a message to the family WhatsApp group of 12 members with the final guest list. My name was there. Sebastian's was not. I wrote, if Sebastian is not there, I am not there either. Mother responded with a 47-second voice note saying, Elena, I have been planning this for 8 months. If you want to boycott your sister's wedding over a whim, that is your decision. But I will not allow you to contaminate this day. Contaminate. That was the word she used. On the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, my Aunt Laura called me. She said mother had asked her to talk to me. She offered to pay for a trip to Cancun for Sebastian and me as compensation if I agreed to come alone. A trip worth $18,000. I told my aunt, Laura, this is not a money problem. It is a dignity problem. There was silence, and then my aunt said very softly, I know, my dear, I know. The wedding day arrived, Saturday the 1st of March. I decided to go with Sebastian. I put on the dress I had paid for. I did my makeup in the mirror of my small apartment. Sebastian waited for me at the door in a grey suit he bought for $3,200. And then in the vestibule of Palacio Dorado at 6:14 in the evening, my mother blocked my entrance. You are not on the list, Elena. I looked at her. I looked at the guests who were starting to turn their heads. I looked at Valeria, who would not turn around. I opened my purse, took out the envelope with the invoice, unfolded it slowly, held it in front of her and said, Very well, mother, but if I am not a guest, then I am not a bridesmaid. And if I am not a bridesmaid, I need you to reimburse me the $2,370 I spent on a role you assigned me. The vestibule fell silent. 8 seconds. One of the groom's cousins covered her mouth. The florist arranging an arrangement 3 meters away stopped moving. My mother lowered her gaze to the invoice. She read every line. Dress $2,400, shoes $380, coordination $490, alterations $260. And she said in a low voice, This is not the moment, Elena. I replied, It is never the moment, mother, but it is always my money. Sebastian took my hand. We turned around and left. That night my cousin Sophia recorded a 53-second video from inside the hall. She did not record me. She recorded the empty chair where I was supposed to sit with my name printed on the place card. Elena Vargas, maid of honor. The chair was empty. The gardenia bouquet remained on the table. Sophia posted the video on TikTok with the description, my aunt told my cousin she was not invited. My cousin asked her to pay for the dress. The chair remains empty. By midnight, 4,200 views. Sunday morning, 210,000. Monday, 6.1 million. The comments began identifying my mother. Someone recognized the venue. Someone else found the elite club profile. On Tuesday, the club administration published a statement distancing itself from private events organized by individual members. On Wednesday, 3 clients cancelled event coordination contracts with my mother. Estimated lost income $127,000. I published a statement on Instagram 4 days later. It said exactly this. I did not seek attention. I sought respect. For months I tried to get my family to accept the person I love. I did not ask them to celebrate him. I asked him to include him. When my mother decided that image was more important than her daughter, I decided that my dignity was more important than her approval. I hold no grudge. I hold the invoice and the certainty that love is not conditioned, it is not negotiated, and it does not sit at the table only when it suits someone else. The statement reached 1.3 million interactions. My mother posted one Instagram story with a Bible verse about children's obedience. She did not mention my name. She deleted it after 4 hours. Valeria sent me a message. You ruined my wedding. I replied, no, Valeria. I simply did not attend. Of the 347 comments on my post, 309 were supportive. 38 defended my mother. A woman from Guadalajara wrote, I am the mother in this story and I am crying because I see what I did to my daughter. That comment received 42,000 likes. 3 weeks later, I received a package from the countryside. It was sent by Dona Carmen's nurse. Dona Carmen had passed away 9 days earlier. Inside the package was the notebook where she wrote the names. On the entry for the 14th of March, the exact day my mother called me a whim, Dona Carmen had written, Elena is going to be fine. God sent my grandson for a reason. That girl has good eyes and a heart that does not bend. I sat on the floor of my apartment hallway and cried for 40 minutes. Sebastian found me there. He said nothing. He sat beside me. We framed the page. Today it hangs above our door. 6 months later, Sebastian and I created a scholarship fund for social work students at Academia Real. We called it Good Eyes. We have awarded 11 scholarships so far. My mother and I speak once a month on Sundays by phone. Never more than 20 minutes. Never about Sebastian. That is how it is. Last week my neighbor's 7-year-old daughter Renata asked me why I did not go to my sister's wedding. I told her because they asked me to come without the person I love most, and that did not seem fair to me. Renata thought for 3 seconds and said, well, of course it is not fair. Then she continued coloring. 2 Sundays ago I passed by Palacio Dorado again. It was closed. There was a for rent sign on the door. I stood on the sidewalk for a moment. I felt no anger. I felt no victory. I felt something calmer than that, something that felt very much like peace. I posted a photo of the framed page from Dona Carmen's notebook. The caption said, the family is not who seats you at the table. It is who writes you in their notebook. A woman from Buenos Aires commented, I read this and called my daughter for the first time in 3 years. A man from Madrid wrote, I am someone's Sebastian, and I never knew that was enough, and it was. The truth is this. No one has the right to charge you entry to your own family. And if someone tries, you have every right to ask them for the invoice. Dona Carmen was right. I have good eyes and a heart that does not bend. Thank you for listening to today's story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next story.